Now to this new biosecurity measure being operational at Queensland's international terminals as soon as today as a safeguard against the incursion of foot and mouth disease. For a closer look at the government's response to foot and mouth, among other things, I spoke a short time ago to the Nationals leader David Littleproud, where I began by asking him about the new government's plans to improve the culture of the parliament.
It took them 4 weeks to get to that juncture after they said it was absolute crap. When I put the idea of foot mats up 4 weeks ago, after getting a briefing from the department, being able to make that determination by myself, you sit there, what is the minister actually doing? He's actually let tens of thousands of people waltz through these borders and open us up to the exposure and risk. We've said that there's also more measures they can take. We think there's 3D X-ray technology that we put in place in postal services that uses artificial intelligence that now should be implemented in Indonesia. We're looking to do it with New Zealand. We should pivot there so our biosecurity officers know what's in bags before they get here. But why haven't we banned any passenger carrying food product? You just ban anyone from Indonesia coming into this country holding any food product whatsoever. New Zealand's already done it. And this mob is still sitting there. They've created chaos at the border. There's actually indecision.
So you don't want the border shut, but you're saying for those who are coming in from Indonesia, no food products whatsoever.
Well, that's the first step. And then the next step after that is for them to explain the science as to what is that threshold question around where there needs to be tougher border measures, because at the moment they're not being transparent with the science, and they need to be transparent, not just to us, but to Indonesia. They're a good trading partner, and there's junctures in that under WTO rules that you would have to invoke. When the Chief Veterinary Officer said to me last Thursday that this is not contained, the curve is going upwards, not downwards, and then you've got the Minister only yesterday coming out saying Indonesia's got it contained. There is just so much mixed messages because the Minister has not got his eye on the ball.
But there are mixed messages as well from the opposition, some saying shut the border, like the opposition leader, others saying don't, like yourself.
Well, we're saying, and so too is the opposition leader, that unless the government comes forward and demonstrates what that threshold is, and have we already crossed it? I've got to say, on Thursday, when I got that briefing from the Chief Veterinary Officer, I thought we might have crossed that precipice. And that's what makes me concerned, is that they haven't come out and explained the science, and the department won't explain the science to us because we're the opposition. And I respect that, but it's important that the government explains it to Australians.
The Farmers Federation don't want the border shut.
Well, that's their opinion, and I respect that, but it's wrong. I mean, they just think that if we shut the border that Indonesia will retaliate. Well, it depends how you treat Indonesia, how you actually embrace them. We've got people on the ground there, and if we're transparent with them and say, if the curve gets to this juncture, that is the threshold that will be crossed.
But I think their point is, though, it's more of a risk from cargo imports, the live virus, as opposed to travellers from Bali or so on.
And again, it's around the measures you can put in place here. So the exposure and the risks are one, through food product being brought in, which is why we're saying, why haven't you just banned anyone from Indonesia carrying any food whatsoever? Because New Zealand did. Ardern actually did it. God help us. And Murray Watt's still dithering. There's also the foot mats where to get rid of the bottom of people's feet. But this is the juncture, is you can have greater control over the people if you have those measures in place. If you don't, cargo, it's an object that's stationary. You can actually take your time to go through that, and there are measures in place there. But when you've got free movement of people running around, you don't have the controls that you do with respect to a container. So that's, while there is a significant risk with our containers, understanding is we control its movement. We can't control the movement of people unless we know what they're carrying and what they're doing.